Good evening and thanks for joining us here at 10 tonight. It is believed a more than 150-year-old shipwreck in Greenbay has been found after being lost the night of the Great Peshtigo Fire.
And a father-daughter duo from Peshtigo discovered it. Fox 11's Ben Krumholtz tells us how they did it.
6-year-old Tim Wollak is used to finding the big one while out on the water with Dad.
I like fishing with my daddy.
The find one day this summer near Green Island was unlike any the duo had discovered before.
Well, I was surprised that I had never seen it before because it's in an area where people regularly go.
Based off the boat's side imaging, Henley had her own idea what they might have found.
An octopus. Its long tentacles made the marks.
While that would have been something, Dad, Tim Wollak, thought it was a shipwreck, but hadn't heard of one being in that location before. He took his pictures to Facebook groups where someone with the Wisconsin Historical Society came across them.
We went back to our database to see if there was anything reported in the area, and we didn't have anything. However, in the database, we have information on historic losses, and this fits the loss location of the George L. Newman.
The 122-foot-long George L. Newman, carrying lumber from Little Swamico, was trying to navigate thick black smoke on the night of the Peshtigo Fire when it grounded near Green Island. The crew was rescued and stayed on the island for a week, trying to salvage what they could from the vessel.
It was actually built in 1855, so it's a pretty significant shipwreck. Pretty old for Wisconsin shipwrecks anyway. And to have it tied to the Peshtigo Fire it makes it even more special.
A few shipwrecks are reported to the Historical Society each year, but one from a 6-year-old and her dad is rare.
I don't know how we top it. I told her I'm pretty sure there's no one else in her school that's ever found a shipwreck that nobody had recorded before. I guess we'll just have to fish more and see if we can find some more shipwrecks.
In Oconto County, Ben Krumholtz, Fox 11 News.
Why not? The DNR did more imaging last week to further confirm the Historical Society's suspicions of it being, in fact, the Newman. A survey is planned for next spring to assess the site for listing on the National Register of Historic Places.
To start, why don't you just take me back to that day? What were you guys doing?
Sure. We went out to Green Island, and she likes to swim, so we were swimming off the boat, and then I had a buddy who was fishing in a tournament that weekend, so I figured I'd try and see if I could find him some fish. So just kind of driving around out there, seeing if there was anything different than what we normally see, and there was.
Tell me more about that.
Oh, sure. So we were going along using our side imaging, and we were looking. I saw something weird, and so I called her over by me and showed it to her and asked her what she thought it was, and what did you think it was?
An octopus.
Wait, tell me again, what did you think it was?
An octopus.
Whoa. What did you think about that?
Its long tentacles made the marks.
Ooh, that's a nice observation. So what did you think when you found out that it was actually a shipwreck?
It was tool.
If I was one of your friends at school, how would you tell this story about how you found it?
Probably about a shipwreck.
What were you doing? What were we doing?
Driving around, and we saw it on the monitor.
I gotcha. And right away you were like, has to be an octopus.
Mhm.
Okay. Dad, we'll go back to you here.
Yeah.
So what was going through your head?
Well, I was surprised that I had never seen it before because it's in an area where people regularly go. But I've been over it probably 10 times, and I had never seen it before. There was a boat close to us. Nobody had ever said, hey, have you seen that shipwreck off of Green Island before? And so I saw what it was, didn't even think to drop like a waypoint on it. Just figured, it'd be easy to find again. And then I actually turned around and went back over it and confirmed it was a shipwreck and had her look at it, and that was about it.
And then from there, did you kind of went online and tried to figure it out?
I took some pictures, sent it to some buddies, then we all thought it was pretty cool. Nobody had heard of that shipwreck being there on Green Island before, and then kind of forgot about it. And then I joined a Facebook group about Wisconsin memories and just happened to post it on there. And that's when the gentleman from the Wisconsin Historical Society had reached out to me, and I had posted that I thought it was a different boat that was known to have sank around Green Island. And just based off the little information I provided, he had thought, hey, I don't think that is the boat that you saw. We don't know anything about that wreck that's there. Let me get you some more information. And within, honestly, like an hour or so, he came back and said, we think it could be this, but other than the approximate location, we don't know for sure.
Sounds like it's more confirmed now. They're more confident that that is probably it.
It sounds like that, yeah. So I sent them the coordinates the best I could, and I was going to try and get back out there one more time this fall and didn't make it out there to get them the actual coordinates. And they had a DNR boat that was out on Green Island, and he let them know about it, and they were able to go out there, actually find it with their sonar, and then put down, I think it's like a little remote submarine, and get some actual underwater pictures of it, which look exactly like it did on the sonar. So.
What do you think now, knowing that it was from, the day of the Peshtigo Fire?
It's pretty cool. We're kind of transplants up here, so we're not originally from the Peshtigo area, so learned about the Peshtigo Fire when I was a little kid, forgot about it until I moved back up here, and then, it's forefront in a lot of stuff up here. And so knowing that it was that the ship wrecked because of how thick the smoke was from that fire was pretty cool. And then, just seeing the origins of it coming from Swamico with lumber and going back and forth, with all the modern technology we have today going across the bay can be interesting at times, let alone back what they were doing back in that time.
On the limited research I've done the last hour, it seems like that was probably the only one. Do you know of any other ships that wrecked that day or anything like that?
I don't believe that day. No, there's another one on the northeast side of the island, but that was caused by a storm. But yeah, I don't think any other ones. But I do know the gentleman that I was speaking with. That ship had run aground on the shoal because of the smoke, and the lighthouse keeper had actually let the light on. I don't know if it was for 5 days or a week or something like that, straight to try and help boats avoid that island. And that one didn't, but everybody did get off of it. And then because the smoke was so thick, they ended up staying on that island for a few days until they were able to get rescued from there.
So how do you top this? He might think, being so young, well, we're going to find more shipwrecks that have never been found before.
Honestly, I was surprised when he said that to me, that, it was undocumented, unseen before. I was kind of like, yeah, okay, there's no way. I mean, with how many boats are out here, and I'm sure other people have seen it before, but weren't lucky enough to have somebody from the Historical Society find their Facebook post. Yeah, I don't know how we top it. I told her I'm pretty sure there's no one else in her school that's ever found a shipwreck that nobody had recorded before. So I guess we just got to keep looking for more fish while we're out there, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll find more shipwrecks.
Okay, Henley, we'll go back to you. Have you been talking about this with your friends at school?
No.
No? What do you normally like doing when you're out fishing or swimming?
I like to pick up rocks.
You like to pick up rocks?
And find sea glass.
Okay.
We found a piece of sea glass this summer, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, out on Green Island.
Wow. So what's the secret to finding shipwrecks now that you're kind of an expert?
To do by doing island.
You gotta go by an island?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you want to go find more now?
Yeah.
How do you think you'll go about doing that?
I don't know, because we don't have a boat right now.
What happened to your boat?
Well, what?
It's in Texas for the winter, getting fixed.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Maybe Dad should ask for more fish finders for Christmas.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that either of you guys would want to add? Anything else you want to say, Henley?
I like fishing with my daddy.
Is that a lot of fun?
Mhm.
I bet. Awesome. Dad, anything else you want to say?
I don't think I can top that. I guess we'll just have to fish more and see if we can find some more shipwrecks.